Hey guys, Tyler and Lucy again. Gonna build a wood stove. Went to the store, tried to find a nice little wood stove, and the biggest one they got is the size of a shoebox. So want to build a good sized stove. So guys, I went down to S&L Waste Tech and I got myself some steel made up. I got this piece. They bent it for me to make half of the box. And that piece. And a few random pieces of steel to make the door and the front and the back. My nice little stove is 4 feet long, 21 inches wide, and 30 inches tall. So I put the end in my stove. This is where the fire is going to be, the front door. The smoke is going to come from the fire along the top, and it's going to run over this flange and into this location where the pipe is going to come out. I built that way so the fire don't go straight up the pipe. I also built it 21 inches wide for that reason. I don't have to cut any of the bricks much. So inside the stove, now I build a little brick holder. I built it a little bit low here because the brick is going to be on the floor and it'll actually be up there. That's why it's a little odd looking. Let's weld her in. So I got everything inside done that I can do. I'm gonna put the other two sides of the box on now. So I put the other half piece on, strapped it up, tightened it up, made sure she's square. That's what inside the box looks like. Gonna weld it in. So I made my door opening. It's ready to go. I made sure it's flush and flat and everything so the door can fit in. I also cut a bunch of those. They're going to be for the door seal. So now I'm building the seal around the door. The seal is going to go in here. I got a 1/2 inch inside there, if you can tell. And inside there is where you put your little fiberglass seal. That's what I cut those little metal pieces for. So they're not too deep. They're probably 1/2 inch deep too. I used some 3/8 bolts for nice spacers, clamped it in. Here's my door seal, guys, if you want to have a peek. See the groove? The little slot fits in just perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'll get my gasket, I'll place it in the hole and seal it in, then I'll drop the door on it. That way I have my clearance for the hinge plus the gasket. So here's my gasket around the door. Welded the 2-piece 1/2 inch apart. Here's the 1/2 inch gasket. We're going to put that in. First I'll weld the end in the stove. Make sure it's true and flush. And then I'll put the gasket in and glue it in. It's going to be a nice airtight stove. There guys, so after you put all that effort in the door, make darn sure you get her flat and square. Pretty important for your gasket seal. Here's my air vent, cut some holes, welded a nut and a bolt, put the two tight together, welded it on. I want to weld a little pipe on here so you can handle it a little better. That's what it is. Here's the next idea, set of hinges, pretty simple. So we're going to drill a little hole, put a bolt in it. So for the hinge, pick a bolt and drill it the same size as the bolt so it fits real tight. So I welded the hinge on. A couple things to take note of. Make sure the top of the hinge sits on the bottom of the hinge so you didn't do it backwards. When you put the door on, I put some weight on the door before I put welded the hinges in. I also put the gasket seal in the door jamb just so she could not be too tight. So guys, here's my wonderful wood stove door. I got her in. Oh, my gasket's falling out. I didn't glue the gasket yet. So I ground the corners off. She fits good. See the little smush there? When I put the handle on and the little compression lock, she fit good. And another thing I put on my stove was a little spark deflector. When you got the air vent open, The spark can't fly out the air vent into the front. In through there, so I got lots of airspace behind it. I also forgot to show you how to put the gasket in the door, but it's pretty simple. You take the gasket glue, you run a bead all the way around, and you put the gasket in, and then you shut the door and kind of put a little bit of weight on the door to hold it shut so the gasket fits good. Also, a secret, if the glue smushes out from beside the gasket, you just take a piece of paper and you put it on the door side, so when you compress it, the glue don't stick to the door, it sticks to the paper. And then you use a little lighter and you light the paper on fire and she burns off, and you don't have to pull the paper off because, God forsake, it's going to pull the gasket off the metal. It's just made that way, I guess. I don't know. So guys, I cut a hole in the stove, got a piece of 6-inch round steel. There's the cutout. Clamped it in, welded it in. So guys, we got the pipe set up. And she's going up. Got the scaffold set up so we can connect to the ceiling. There we go guys. We start to put some bricks in the stove, as you can see them going in. And guys, this is our first little fire in the stove. I don't have enough fire brick to brick the whole bottom yet. I gotta go get some more. But I made a little fire in the back anyways. You notice how my little design doesn't have the smoke run out the door? I went snooping around the yard and I found this beautiful little piece. It's like a pre-built handle. So I cut it off. And a little round bar. And I'm gonna make a compression fitting on my stove door. And after 10 times of opening and closing the door, we finally figured out where to put that little bracket. So here's my finished door handle. It touches the spark arrestor inside, so the handle has something to stop on. It doesn't fall down to the floor. When you close it, it has a little compression to shut the door. A nice little look at the finished product. Special thanks to Lucy watching me build the wood stove. So guys, we're finished the wood stove. We haven't got enough fire brick to fire it up really good yet. But here's Lucy and I. Thanks for enjoying the video. I hope it helps you on your wood stove build.